So if there's one constant in the music industry that we can always count on, no matter what, there will always be drama. Drama makes the world go around. For the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about this situation where We Came as Romans canceled a tour date halfway through the show at a music venue in Providence, Rhode Island because of an aggressive security staff. We've done 2 videos on it now. I thought we were going to be done with it, but nope, because earlier today, I opened up my email. Actually, I don't even know when this email was sent. I'll have to look, but I woke up this morning and I checked my email and I had an email directly from the venue, the FET Music Hall. Now, before we go any further, I will bring up the fact I've seen a lot of comments from people that are correcting me saying, Tank, it's pronounced fete. Apparently it's a French word. That's cool. We're going to keep calling it FET because every single person I've talked to from that area that goes to that place calls it FET too. And yeah, call it FET, call it fete. We know what we're talking about. We know the venue we're talking about. This email was sent to me at midnight last night. I just looked at the timestamp on it. I have it up right here. And I would like to preface this. You guys know that when I do kind of more of this discussion journalism type thing, I don't like to throw information out there that's not public or without permission. I did ask this person, if I were to talk about this on stream, can I bring up this email and talk about it? And they said yes, with the exception, we don't want anybody from our venue named, so please take that out. So with respects to that, sorry, Claire just brought me pizza rolls. Let's go. Thank you. All right, back to this. With respects to that, I will redact names and stuff because according to them, if this is true, since all of these events have happened, they have actually been getting like threats against their staff, even non-security staff and stuff like that. And I don't want to add to that, so we're not going to name names. Just as a quick refresher, in case nobody's watched my previous 2 videos, I'll just give you a very quick synopsis now. But if you want to go watch those videos, you can. We Came as Romans is currently on tour. At their show in Providence, Rhode Island at the FET Music Hall, one of their opening bands, Body Snatcher, was playing. Security got super rough with some of the fans, allegedly, and they decided to shut down and cancel the entire show. There were some altercations. According to the band, security basically threatened them. They had a huge altercation backstage. They were physically abusing the fans at the show and roughing them up and stuff. We Came as Romans put out their own statement detailing what happened. A few days later, the venue released a statement basically saying, this is not what happened at all. And they placed blame on the tour. So really, it's a he said, she said thing. We've tried to keep it right in the middle. There have been some fans of Body Snatcher and We Came as Romans in my comments section, I've noticed, that have been getting on me about being a fence sitter and not picking a side. And to that, I say, who fucking cares? And fuck you, because I realize that in society right now, everybody has been trained to pick a side. Everybody needs to pick a side and battle the other. But sometimes we just sit here and talk about events that have happened and try and just look at it objectively. And that's what we're fucking doing. I'm going to tell you what I think, but I'm not just picking a side to pick a side. Anyways, I get this email at midnight. It came from somebody at the venue. They did introduce themselves by name, and just to double check, because I don't trust everything, I did search this person online, and I was able to confirm that they are an employee at the FET Music Hall. So this is legit in the sense that this came from somebody there. Keep in mind, this is their events of what happened. I can neither confirm nor deny a lot of this. I just want to read it. They said, I saw your YouTube videos regarding the issue we had at the We Came as Romans show. Congrats, by the way, on a great show and how you took the time to break down every segment of the bands and our announcements. You tried to be thorough and impartial. However, it was not really 50-50 on your review of the statements, and you relied heavily on the comments people left on your channel. Well, yeah, of course. I wasn't there. We looked at comments of people that were there that said what happened. I mean, what else do you want me to do? They continued by saying, I would like to give you some answers to questions you had on your show. By show, they're talking about the video. Not because we would like to see you comment or do another segment for your channel, but to personally give you some clarity. There were a total of 277 people in the room. So I'm going to assume that's paid concert goers. 277? What's the capacity? So I assume that this took place in their main room that has a full capacity of 800 people. And there were 277 there. So the room was only about a little over a quarter sold. Alil in chat just said it was also still the opener. More people may have been coming in. That is a fantastic point. This was only the second of 4 bands when all of this took place. So it was early. There could have been more people that were showing up to the show later. So I don't know what the pre-sale ticket amount was for this show, but according to the venue, there was 277 people there when this happened. The next bullet point says the TM, tour manager, for this run was called Matthew. Now, the only reason I'm cool with saying that is because he has posted publicly online saying that he was their tour manager. That's not a secret that Matthew is We Came as Romans tour manager. The venue is claiming that he is not the regular tour manager for We Came as Romans, and it says that his background is in country music, or so he told us. That's kind of irrelevant, to be honest. A tour manager is a tour manager. And like I've said, I know of this guy and I trust that he's a legitimate tour manager. So next point says there was a security meeting between Matthew, our manager, and the head security. Matthew said word for word that the fans get pretty wild during Body Snatcher's set. He actually called it, and I quote, scary. That's kind of interesting because while Matthew did publicly say online, like that he had a security meeting, like nobody has said what was actually said yet. I believe that he probably said word for word, the fans get pretty wild during Body Snatcher set because I know that without even going to that show, just by the type of music Body Snatcher is. And based on comments I've seen, yeah, a lot of people have said that their crowd can get rowdy, but that's not a secret. I've been to so many hardcore shows in my life. You know what's going to happen. There's going to be a pit. It's not a big deal. Whether or not he actually referred to the crowd as scary, I don't know, but that's what the venue is saying. He asked that we don't kick anybody out, but they should receive warnings instead. If the same person received 3 warnings, fans should then be escorted out. That's interesting because in their official statement, they said they ended up giving one guy 5 warnings before they had an issue with him. Nobody was escorted or dragged out of the venue at any given time, despite all the word I is in quotes, eyewitnesses that prompted to comment that they actually saw what happened. The sad part is that so many eyewitnesses have responded on either your channel or the band's post that someone would think this show had over 1,000 people in attendance. Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, I haven't seen 1,000 comments from people. I've probably seen 20 tops. And I mean, yeah, when something like this occurs, I mean, that's our best bet without any security footage, which I still think if there's security footage and you guys want to get your name cleared, release that footage. That's an easy go-to. Most venues have security cameras in their venues. Now, whether you were recording or not, I don't know. But if none of this took place and you have those tapes, all you got to do is release the security footage. Maria in chat just said, how do so many people agree that they have seen someone dragged out? No one except the venue refutes that. I mean, that was kind of my point. We've seen the same story repeated multiple times by tons of different people. Usually when there's drama and there's any kind of doubt to what happened, you'll see at least one person that was like, hey, I was there and like, this is really overblown and exaggerated and this didn't happen. We haven't seen any of that. We've seen a lot of people claiming the same things. So really quick, what you're seeing right now on YouTube is actually, we're recording this after we just did everything you're watching right now because I thought that there was something I missed in this. And there was. It was in the second response to the email that I got. There's just a part of this I wanted to read because I do feel as though this is important to the character of the venue. The past 2 weeks have been a real nightmare for everyone working here, and I hope you can understand how sensitive things are. And then they also said, which establishment in their right mind would assault or mistreat any customer unless they stepped out of line? Well, throwing that unless in there is kind of weird. You're justifying assault by saying unless they stepped out of line. And who's deeming that they stepped out of line? You are. But I digress. I get the point that they were trying to make. We're not in the business of losing customers. We're in the business of allowing customers to be safe and enjoy themselves. This whole situation has turned extremely ugly, and quite honestly, I feel dumbfounded. Never in my blank years have I ever had to face a similar situation. So I would like to believe that, like, if this person is telling the truth, like they've never had a situation like this before. I mean, then if that's true, that does show that maybe this was something that went the wrong way by one party or the other. But as we've already determined, we've seen so many comments from other people, not to mention Google reviews about this place. And the constant thread about this place is how aggressive and unruly their security staff is to so many people at shows. My problem with this whole situation is that this does not seem like it's an isolated incident. People are not going to go online and make up random stories from years ago before this happened. There's Google reviews and comments and stuff on pages from years before this ever happened talking about how unruly security was. To be fair in the whole argument, I have seen comments from people that said they've gone to this venue before with no problems. That has to be brought up in the interest of being fair. Anyways, now that we got through that, back to what we recorded a little while ago. In one video you found on socials that was shared, you clearly see a mosher whack a girl in the face. Your comment on that video was that you can't see anything there. That girl came and found me and complained about getting smacked by said mosher. However, on the We Came as Roman post, she claimed that she got hit in the face by a security guard. I found exactly what they're talking about. Let's check it out really quick. Because in full 100% honesty and transparency, we did not show this full clip on the YouTube video that came out. On Twitch, we watched the whole thing, but it did not make it into YouTube. So let's watch this again.
Fuck you! Have fun!
Right here. Boom. I mean, she got hit in the face hard by that dude. I will say that is a big dude, but he looked like he was hardcore dancing. It didn't look like he ran up to her and punched her in the face. It looked like he was wildly swinging and hardcore dancing. Now the venue is claiming that that girl went and complained to the venue that she got hit in the face, but then on We Came as Roman's post claimed that that was a security guard that hit her. I have not seen that post. I can neither confirm nor deny that, but that's what the venue is saying. Bozzy in chat just said, is that the one fan in particular the venue cited? I've got to assume that's the guy. I don't know, but I've got to assume that the venue saying that they had an issue with one person and they gave him 5 warnings, I got to assume that that's the guy, but I don't know 100%. They continued by saying, in the second video you aired, you see the front of house guy for the tour named Sam go to the singer and whisper in his ear. What was communicated is unknown to us, but immediately after, the singer said what he said, aggravated the crowd, which in turn started singing "F security" for a good 3 to 4 minutes, while pointing at security behind the barricade. At this point, there was one security that felt intimidated and responded back. By no means did he yell at them and say, "Come suck my dick." Either way, he did lose his cool, which he shouldn't have, and he is no longer with us. So apparently, the security guard that was accused of yelling at the crowd, and I quote, saying, "If any of you have a problem, you can come up here and suck my dick," the venue has claimed that they have fired that guy, or he is no longer with us. I gotta assume that means they fired him. The next point says security did not use flashlights that day. The road crew had flashlights. I don't believe that for a second. Every venue I've ever worked at, when lights go down and it's dark and stuff, security has flashlights. They would have to if there was an issue when it's dark and the lights for the show are going. Sorry, I don't believe that for a second. The person that was unruly and security went to calm him down was not dragged, kicked, had his head smashed on the wall or the ground. These are some comments from eyewitnesses. He was actually asked to go with security to the front door. This was in the middle of Body Snatcher's set, so it was super loud and security had to get close to the mosher guy to talk to him. Security then held this guy by the arm, one security on each arm, to walk him outside, something that he was complying with. It was at this moment that members of the road crew actually jumped the 2 security that was escorting the guy from behind, and some pushing went down between 4 road crew members led by Sam, our 2 security members, and the mosher. I cannot tell you what the road crew was thinking at that moment. So they say they never dragged or escorted anybody out. They say that this guy was complying to go outside, but security had 2 security guards had one of each of his arms. Do you really need 2 security guys to grab a guy by each of his arms and take him outside if he was complying? I mean, I wasn't there. I'm not suggesting he wasn't, but that seems strange. But indeed, as Karen in chat just said, that is the definition of escorting. So they did escort him out. Peyote Coyote just asked in chat, to be clear, does road crew refer to the people employed by the bands? Yes. Again, Claire's f***ing it up. Yeah, as we were just saying, when they say road crew, they are talking about the people that are touring with the band that are employed by the band. So they're claiming that 4 road crew members led by Sam, the front of house engineer, who they said the front of house engineer for the tour. So it'd be Sam and 3 others jumped 2 security guards. Dude, I find that hard to believe. Also, if that was the case, why didn't you say that in your statement when the venue released a statement about what went down? I feel like that's a very big thing to leave out of an official statement of what went down. They continue by saying, as a result of that pushing around, they opened the side door, tripped and fell on the outside. Once security realized it was members of the road crew, they let them back inside, yet they did not let the unruly guy back inside. After this incident, it is when Sam went and whispered in the singer's ear, the Body Snatchers singer. We saw that in video. Sam had also previously went on stage and clapped at the barricade security for not allowing crowd surfing. That was at the beginning of Body Snatchers' set. When we watched video, we only saw a video of Sam, the road crew guy. We only saw a video of him on stage clapping after the show was shut down and Body Snatcher started playing. So I have not seen video footage of that. I can't confirm that happened because we looked at a lot of video and we did not see video of that. The said unruly guy was at the venue with his girlfriend. They got into a heated argument before he started moshing. The girlfriend was actually cut off from the bar, which angered her and probably angered him as well, as he thought he was also cut off from the bar. After the singer said what he said and walked off stage, I was notified of the situation. I went backstage to find out what was going on. The manager, the Bowery rep, and Matthew, we came as Roman's tour manager, were discussing. Matthew was saying we are canceling the rest of the show. I asked to be filled in. We suggested options for the show to go on, but he refused, said he needs to talk with the agent and management. By the way, We Came as Romans was on their tour bus. That's standard procedure. I would do the same. If I were the tour manager in that position and something went down, my first contact would be with management and booking agent and explaining the situation and seeing what they wanted to do. A decision like this to shut down a show is not going to happen without the band's management and the booking agent and the promoters like knowing what's going on. So this decision was made by multiple people. Now, what I find interesting is that We Came as Romans' statement said that everybody came to this decision. The venue, the promoter, the bands, they all came to this decision that the show should be canceled. The venue has said multiple times now that they were not a part of that conversation. Like the venue wanted the show to go on. They never agreed to having the show shut down. Finally, he got back to us saying that they decided to cancel. This was not something agreed on by all parties, as I was just saying. They asked us to announce that due to technical difficulties, the show won't continue, yet asked the crowd to remain in the venue so they can buy merch. We complied. Fans stayed in the building for another 40 to 45 minutes before they started leaving on their own. If that's true, if they canceled a show and then let the fans stay in there for 40 to 45 minutes before they started leaving, that's the venue's fault. It's your venue. If the show gets canceled, you have every right to have your staff have everybody leave the building. And from what we saw from other concert goers, they basically made it sound like it was 40 to 45 minutes before they were told what was going on. So I really don't know what to believe in that situation. Fans are saying that they stood around for 40 minutes before they were told the show was canceled. The venue is saying that the show was announced that it was canceled, and then fans hung around in the venue for 45 minutes to buy merch. Also, as a fellow tour manager, I do find it a little hard to believe that a tour manager for a tour would tell the venue, hey, we're canceling the show, but keep everybody in here as long as possible so they can buy merch. It seems unrealistic in my opinion. But again, as I've had to preface several times, I was not there. I don't know what actually happened. I'm just going off of the videos and the things we've seen online. There was no spitting on anyone or any gear. That is preposterous. As we saw in We Came as Roman's statement, they said that the venue security was spitting at them and their gear. The venue was saying that did not happen. After all of the fans left the building and security broke down the barricade, Matthew said that they will not strike the stage if security won't leave the building. And in parentheses, this person said, I don't understand why that was asked, but we complied. I'll tell you exactly why that was asked. Because there was a giant confrontation between the tour and the venue security, and they obviously didn't feel safe with the staff that was there and didn't want to get to work tearing down the show until that staff was gone. That is why he asked that. The email is wrapping up here, and it says, after reading your fans' comments about flashlights, I wonder if people saw road crew members flashing their lights in the faces of our actual security that were wearing t-shirts when the altercation occurred, thinking it was security. Road crew had full gear with vests and work boots on, and if you saw them, you would think they could be security, as at many venues in the area, security usually wears similar vests. As far as venue or patrons confusing the road crew for the bands with security, maybe I could buy into that a little bit, but them confusing road crew flashing their flashlights in the face of security members, I've never done that. Well, let's be fair here. If security was being aggressive and the crew didn't like what was going on, maybe they did take out their flashlights and try and get security's attention and flash them in the faces. Maybe that happened. But that doesn't say anything to the accounts of the fans who said security was wading through the pit, shining flashlights in the faces of people that were moshing and doing more than they thought they should have. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, fans were confusing road crew as security. Road crew isn't going to be walking through a pit at a show flashing people in the faces. They're not doing crowd control. There's no reason for them to be in the crowd. They would not be out there. So that entire scenario just isn't adding up to me at all. This person closes out the email by saying, I think I presented a detailed recap of the events that took place that night and hope some questions that you wondered about on your show have been answered. In closing, I would like to add that there's no video from anyone that was present that captured footage of any of these allegations. Kind of makes you wonder. Thanks for taking the time to read this and best of luck on your show. Yeah, to that point, we did talk about that in the last couple of videos. Like, you know, like lots of people have phones at shows nowadays, and it is kind of interesting that there are no videos of like the fan getting their head smashed into the floor or security roughing people up. There is no video that we've found online about that. But I did see one comment from a person say that like a lot of these events happen so quickly that even if you wanted to grab your phone and take it out and record, it happened so fast that you wouldn't have been able to get anything. And I could see that happening. I mean, if really quickly in the span of like 6 to 7 seconds, like somebody was thrown on the ground or something like that, like, yeah, you're not going to get your phone out that quick to record it. I have been a little skeptical of that though. I will fully admit that. I expected that if this was as rowdy as they claimed it was, there would have been more videos. But Horacle in chat just brings up a good point. You wouldn't film in the mosh pit anyways. Yeah, people that are moshing in the pit don't really necessarily have their phones out a lot. That's not really happening. So after reading this statement that came directly from somebody at the venue, I would like to thank the venue for taking the time to reach out to me and give me their account of the things that happened. My gut instinct, this is opinion, I have no factual basis to this again, one more time, I wasn't there. This is all from just seeing online. My gut instinct says that during Body Snatcher's set, there was hardcore dancing going on, maybe a little bit of crowd killing. I mean, we didn't really see crowd killing in any of the videos we saw. We just saw like straight up like slam dancing, hardcore dancing, like, you know, arms and fists flying, but no crowd killing where people were running up and just punching. Like we didn't see that in videos. I have a feeling there was hardcore dancing going on during Body Snatcher's set, as would happen during Body Snatcher's set. Security didn't like what was going on. Some altercations took place. Maybe some things got misread by other people. But from everything we've seen, the security team, my opinion, the security team handled this entire situation poorly. There were some moments from the bands that we saw, like the clapping from the stage, the f*** 'em that Body Snatcher singer was saying. Like, you know, after thinking about this more in the heat of the moment, like those emotions and the way that the singer was saying things on stage, like I completely... Those emotions are validated. I get it. But my point in the last video was that by doing that from stage and then by clapping at security and stuff, that may antagonize the crowd a little bit. And like the venue said, a security chant started from the crowd. I believe that. I've not seen video of it, but that is something that is believable to me. At this point, I think there's the band's accounts, the venue's accounts, and the truth is somewhere in the middle, and that's it. I think this is probably drama that's going to just continue on and on and on and on. This is one of those he said, she said things that we're never going to get a clear victory out of anybody on. From my experience touring in the music industry, I do believe way more of what the band and the fans have been saying from my personal experience, because some of the things that the venue did say in that email seem a little outlandish. It's not to say they didn't happen. It just seems a little outlandish. To the people out there that have been following this and want me to pick a side and say the venue's right or the band is right, that, we're not doing it. I am absolutely going to fence sit on this one. I brought you guys videos, the statements, the facts of what happened, and an email from the venue. You guys make up your own minds. If you live in this area and you don't want to support the venue anymore, then fucking don't. If you live in this area and you've been to this venue and you've never had problems, keep going to the venue and seeing shows. Do whatever you want. I don't care. I don't control your life. I just wanted to bring you guys the information that I had. That's about it. But anyways, to everybody that went through this whole saga with me, thank you for keeping up. To everybody that was here on Twitch, thank you for being here. If you'd like to follow along, if you're watching on YouTube later, you can go to twitch.tv/TankTheTech. We often bring up music news and happenings and stuff and discuss here. You can also follow me on a bunch of social media. At TankTheTech is my handle on just about everything. But until next time, wherever you are in the world, be safe, be kind to each other. I love you all, and I'll be back very soon.